Algebra 2, what's up and welcome. Today, what your async assignment is to listen through this video, pause when I tell you, and make sure you write down everything on a scratch piece of paper. So right now, you should pause the video and copy this down. I can write the equation of a quadratic function is our goal for today. Write the equation of the quadratic that passes through the point 9, -6 and has a vertex at 3, 6. Okay, so now that you've written down the problem, you pause the video and have this down in your scratch piece of paper, or if you can squeeze it into a spot into your notebook, we're going to go over this. So our goal is to write this equation in vertex form. If we remember, vertex form is a times x minus h squared plus k, and this is all equal to y. So let's squeeze that y out in front. Y equals. So our end goal is to write the equation of the quadratic that passes through these 2 points, and it should be in this form. So a couple things we know from the problem is they told us the vertex, and the vertex is at the point 3, 6. Oh, not 3k. 3, 6. And we know that we were given a random point, which is at 9, -6. Now, the vertex is that special point. It's either the high or low of our quadratic. And this point is just a random point that our quadratic passes through. There's nothing really special about it. So in order to write this equation, we need to know quite a few things. We need to figure out what is the a value. We need to figure out what is the h value. And we need to figure out what is our k value. Well, the great thing is when we're given the vertex, we know right off the bat what h is and what k is. H is always the x value of the vertex, so our h value is definitely 3. And our k value is always the y value of the vertex, so our k value is 6. Now, this is about as far as we can go without having to do any extra algebra or any steps. And you see we've used the vertex. We got our h and our k value from that. However, we can't find our a value just by looking at our 2 points. We actually have to do a little bit of algebra. And that's where our random point comes in, because our random point tells us an x and y value. Every point is made out of an x and y value. So we also know that x equals 6, and when x equals 6, when x equals 9, y equals -6. So that's another bit of information. So we have 4 pieces of information we know, and we have one bit that we don't know, and it's crucial to writing our equation. So if we look up, we have y, a, x, h, and k in our vertex form. We know all of these values except for a, which means we can substitute everything we know in and solve for a algebraically. So let's do that. I know what y is. Y is -6, so I'm going to plug that in. I don't know my a value. I'm going to keep that red. We don't know a. Put my parentheses. I know x and h. X is 9 minus my h value, which is 3. Never forget your squared. Lots of people like to forget that. And we also know our k value. Our k value is 6, so plus 6 at the end. So we've plugged in everything we know from the vertex and the point into vertex form. The only thing we're missing is our a value. So this means we are ready to solve this small little equation for our a value. So I'm going to draw a line down the equal sign so I can start solving for a. So on the left side I have -6. We're not going to touch him. But we're going to start simplifying everything on the right side, starting with what's inside the parentheses. So 9 minus 3 gives me 6. Don't forget that's squared. Okay, next I'm going to continue to simplify. 6 squared, that's 36. So I'm going to bring down my -6, and instead of writing a times 36, I'm going to put the 36 out in front of the a, because that's how we write in math. We put our coefficient in front of the variable instead of behind it. So I'm getting closer. Let's get a by itself. There's nothing I can simplify on the left side, and there's nothing I can simplify on the right side. So I need to move this 6 over to the other side. Since it's a positive 6, I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. 6 minus 6 is 0, so we cross that out. Negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12, which is equal to 36 times our a value, which is the key to finishing this problem. Finally, I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by 36 so I can get a all by itself. Okay, when I do this, 36 divided by 36 is 1, so those eliminate, and we're left with just a on the right side. On the left side, I'm left with negative 12 divided by 36, and if I put this into my calculator, into my phone, into my Desmos, I get negative 0.333, and that repeats forever and ever and ever. Well, a repeating 3 tells us that, this is negative 1/3. Okay, so this reduces to negative 1/3. Now that I have my a value, negative 1/3, I have h and k, I have the three all-stars, a, h, and k, I can write the equation of the line that passes through 9, negative 6, and has a vertex of 3, 6. And I'm going to write that. So we leave our y and our x in our equation. Y equals a value, negative 1/3, times x minus h, so x minus h value, 3. Don't forget that squared, plus k value, which was 6. This is the equation of the quadratic that passes through the point 9, negative 6, and has a vertex of 3, 6. And we're finished with the problem, and this is our answer. Okay? So this is the type of work I should see on every single problem you do when writing the equation of a quadratic function. Okay, so take a second, pause your video, make sure you have all of this done. If you were confused on any part, go back and watch it again. Okay, you've written this all down. We're going to go on to the next slide because you have some practice work that you're going to turn into me. So here are the two problems you're going to do on your own. It looks like I'm covering up a little bit of one of the problems, so I'm just going to shrink down my video just a tiny bit. I'll be teeny tiny. So pause the video. Do both of these problems on a scratch piece of paper. When you are finished, take a picture and upload it to the Google Classroom, showing all of your work. So for these two problems, I should see the same amount of work we just did on our scratch paper on that problem. When you're done with both of these problems, you've shown all of your work, take a picture, upload it to this Google Classroom assignment. Okay? To receive credit, you have to show all of your work, and it's due at 3 p.m. Not only for credit, but also as your attendance. If you're stuck at all, you are going to hop into our class during async and get some help. Okay? Good luck and have fun.